Welcome back to Trainer Talk. Today we're speaking to Dave Ramsey of 615 Sports Training in Nashville. Though not based in the traditional combine prep hotspots of South Florida and California, 615 Sports Training has worked hard to establish itself as one of the top Mid-South training locations. Kevin Fitzgerald, who heads the training program, has deep roots in the business, having trained dozens of talented former Seminoles over the last 20 years. And Dave runs the program as an agent liaison, as well as their promoter, their producer, all those kind of things as well. Where 615 has excelled over the past 2-3 years is in turning unsung, lesser-ranked players and turning them into players that make a 53-man roster. Players are increasingly coming from neighboring states to Nashville to allow Dave, Kevin, and the 615 team to polish them up and get them ready for Pro Day. Dave, welcome to ITL Trainer Talk. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Neil. Thanks for having me.
Okay, wonderful to have you on here. Let's start off by talking about your success with players who aren't rated as first rounders. What's given y'all so much success with players that aren't the darlings of draft Twitter?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. My partner, as you mentioned, Kevin Fitzgerald, he is a phenomenal coach, and one thing he's able to spot that a lot of guys can't is just the small details that will make somebody better. I'll give you an example. We're at the combine watching one of our guys from Georgia a couple years ago, or 3 years ago, and we're sitting there in the hotel watching on there, and he's like, "I got to fix that." And so it was in his start in the 40, and he just noticed it on TV, which, the wide angle they provide, but he noticed, he's like, "I got to fix that."
Sure.
And so we took that from official 5.20 at the combine, and 2 weeks later at his pro day at Georgia, he ran a 5.00. And it was all in that little tweak in the start and being able to do something like that. And so that goes back to how he trains, and that's everything needs to be perfect. And so we just constantly drill and drill and drill.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't run a ton of 40s. We do run 40s, but we don't run a ton of them. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that, all of the gait, the strides, and everything is on point. And then we put it all together. But it goes down to just breaking it all down and being able to, spot the smaller things. The other thing I think that makes us successful in helping the lesser known guys just excel at Combine and Pro Day is the recovery time. So, a lot of facilities out there will run guys from 8 to 5 every day, and they'll fill the day with the things that may be necessary, may not be necessary, but they fill it up because, you're paying a ton of money to go there, and you feel like you got to be doing something all day. Mm-hmm. And, we're big believers in the recovery time. So we're going to go hard, but we also know that your body needs to recover. So, there are certain days we're going to go a little bit harder, certain days we're going to go a little bit lighter, because we know how the body is going to respond. And, we kind of base that on an individual basis. We know we're teaching to the test, and that test is Combine Pro Day. And so we want to be 100% at that point. And so wearing them out for weeks ahead of time is not going to be optimal for them. So that's where we've seen most of our success is in those guys. And then you have to have a guy who is willing to put in the work. If you don't have that, then you have nothing. But obviously these guys are pretty motivated. You're still going to see guys that are a little bit more motivated than others, but you're going to see guys that are wanting to make that next step.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you mentioned the guys that want to train. It's funny how character enters into even the physical aspects of the training. If there's a kid that wants to sleep in and not do the things that he's supposed to do, then that's going to be reflected. It's seen maybe as an off-the-field kind of thing, but ultimately it has a real influence on what takes place in the training environment.
You're exactly right. And I've even had one of the NFL owners reach out to me and say, "Hey, you did a great job training this guy." And he could tell, we talked and he could see, work ethic, and he could see, what he did from when he started with us until the end. This guy's a big analytics guy. And he's like, we saw what his work ethic was. We liked the results, and we wanted to go ahead and, jump on board with him. So that was pretty cool to hear. So somebody that high level is thanking us for that. So
that's when you're having success.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun too. Again, working with high-level athletes is obviously a cool deal, but working with guys that are just solely focused on this and, you know, block out all the distractions. And those are the most fun because, you know, it's great to see their success. We're just a little part of it. They've built their resume with college, but, you know, just being a little part of it and then seeing them play on Sundays is really gratifying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dave, you've been able to carve out a successful business despite not being located in what you would call prime combine real estate, combine prep real estate. What are the benefits of being in the Mid-South? How have you made that work for you?
Well, one of the drawbacks is we don't have a beach. So, you know, that's a drawback. A lot of guys love the beach and they love to play. But I think one of the things that really helps us is we don't have the distractions that all those other guys have. I mean, when you come to Nashville, you come to train, and, you know, it's a 6 to 8 week window that we have you. So we don't have you for very long. But why come and worry about what you're going to do that night and go play and do all these things at the beach? And, like, no, when you come to us, you come to train. And, you know, I'm, like you said earlier, I'm the agent liaison. So I deal with all the agents, and, you know, they ask me, like, how's he doing? Well, I'm not going to lie to them. So it doesn't do anybody any good to do that. So it's been very easy for me to say he's getting his work done. Like, he's really getting after it. And, you know, he's not worried about, like, hey, I'm going to meet these girls at the beach at 2. Well, I mean, we don't have to worry about that stuff. So the distractions are a lot less in Nashville. And, you know, having guys that are focused and really wanting to hone in on their craft, I mean, it's been good. And, you know, it's one of the advantages of being in Nashville. We have everything big city like, but, you know, we don't have as many distractions as the warm weather places do.
No question. Okay. Last question, David, and I know that you're not necessarily on the training floor per se, but who is the one player that you've probably enjoyed working with the most in all your years working in the combine prep arena? Who's been the one that maybe was the most fun or the most fun to work with, or had the most awesome family, or really responded to the training, or any number of things, whatever criteria you have for who is your favorite guy that you know, in all your time doing this?
I'd have to say it was Brad Bars from Penn State. Brad came to us, and at Penn State, he was kind of overlooked a little bit at the defensive end spot. I mean, he played some. I think he started a few games his senior year, but he was not a highly thought of guy at Penn State. Busted his tail every time he got a chance. But there were other guys that the coaches played some favorites with, and so he came to us and he was like, I just want a shot at the NFL, and if I can't get there, then, you know, I gave it a shot, and, you know, that's it. And so working with him, and he came to us late December, early January, and we worked all the way through pro day because obviously he's not getting a combine invite.
Right.
And I've never seen such a laser focused guy. And he liked to have fun after we're done training, but during training, like, he was so laser focused. And again, he's not even considered a prospect at this point. And he just honed in, and he's an incredible athlete. But being 6'3", 265 and a wide defensive end, I mean, there's not too many of those in the NFL at this point. So so he knew what his roadblocks were, and he worked his tail off. We went to pro day. We actually went with him to Penn State to support him there, and he absolutely crushed it. He had the highest or the lowest 3-cone drill of anybody there. I think it was a 7.06, and that was of everybody that was doing it. And that guy's 265.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it was you know, a lot on technique, like being able to put his foot in the right spot here and make the turn here, you know, all those little things. But he, to answer your question, he was the most fun. And then the Giants were there, and the Giants saw him, and they're like, wow, look at this guy. And so they dug into him a little bit more and invited him out to mini camp. He ended up making the practice squad, and by the end of the year, he's playing on Sunday. And that to me, that's the best story, because he goes from not only unsung college athlete, but I mean, he barely played, or he barely started, I should say. He played, but he didn't start very much at Penn State, and he just busted his tail. And, you know, he was able to crack the 53 with the Giants that year. and just totally gratified. I'm still very good friends with him to this day. That's the kind of guy that he is. We talk every month or so, but he's a great dude, and that's probably my favorite story about training guys.
Sure. I mean, that's what it's all about. That gratification, the reward that you get by working with someone who in turn is working really hard himself and accepting the coaching and all the kind of things that y'all give him, and to be able to see the fruits of that, I know has to be a really special thing. That's really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave, tell us more about how you can find out more about 615. If I'm an agent, if I'm a kid who's interested in training with y'all, what's the best thing to do?
Best thing to do, man, is give me a call, 615-418-0612. Just send me a text, give me a call. You can also email me at dramsey@615sportstraining.com.
Okay.
But I like to talk to people, so if you just give me a call, I can lay it all out there. I mean, we've got guys you can talk to just about how we deal with things, and most agents that we deal with are not local agents. So they put a lot of trust in me to be able to, take care of their guys, and I take pride in that. And I'm not going to let another agent come in and take their guys. I'm just not going to let that happen. There's no poaching. I try to look at things from the agent's perspective, and they're investing in us, and we get the results, and we're doing a little bit different pricing structure this year based upon that. You invest in us, and we're going to get your guy better. And we can talk about all that later on when guys are interested and they talk to me. But it's a great deal, and I enjoy working with the agents and letting them know that I've got their guys taken care of, and caring about their guys when they're not around to be able to do that.
I gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's good information, and as you alluded to, Dave, you do have a new pricing structure that I know a lot of agents are going to want to learn more about. I'll let you tell them about that when they call and what have you. In the meantime, as a fellow kind of Razorbacks fan, we'll hope that the second half goes better than the first half of the season.
Amen, brother. Amen. the alumni, we're wanting that, so we gotta turn it around. But I think we're on the right track.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Nowhere to go but up, man.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, I appreciate your time. I really appreciate you being part of our team, of course. And
absolutely.
Thanks again, man, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate the time.